Spoštovani Šimon Bjalek, konzul Veleposlaništva Republike Poljske v Sloveniji. Dear Šimon Bjalek, Council of the Embassy of the Republic of Poland in Slovenia. Spoštovani namestnik poveljnika sil, polkovnik Igor Šepec. Spoštovani poveljnik vojaške zdravstvene enote, polkovnik Uroš Prenčič. Spoštovani avtor razstave, Przemysław Jaskółowski. Dear author of the exhibition, Przemysław Jaskółowski. Spoštovana direktorica Zavoda za turizem Pivka, gospa Jana Gržinič. Spoštovani predstavniki Poljskega veleposlaništva in Poljske skupnosti v Sloveniji. Dear representatives of the Polish Embassy and the Polish community in Slovenia. Spoštovani predstavniki slovenske vojske. Cenjeni obiskovalci, dobrodošli na odprtju gostujoče razstave Poljski vojaki na soški fronti 1915-1917 v Parku vojaške zgodovine. Dear visitors, welcome to the opening of the guest exhibition Polish Soldiers on the Isonzo Front 1915-1917 at the Park of Military History. Evo, zdaj pa bo. Kraljevina Italija je bila ob koncu 19. in na začetku 20. stoletja navezana na centralne sile, a so ji države, povezane v tako imenovano srčno zvezo, v tajnem londonskem sporazumu v zameno za odprtje nove fronte ponudile več ozemlja. Tako je Italija maja 1915 v boje prve svetovne vojne vstopila na strani Antante, s čimer se je v osrčju Evrope, kjer se ob smaragdni Soči stikajo ravnice Pada in vrhovi Alp, odprla nova krvava fronta. Na bojno linijo, ki je v svojem vzhodnem delu potekala na zahodu slovenskega nacionalnega ozemlja, je nasproti vojske kraljevine Italije avstro-ogrska vpoklicala številne vojake. Med več kot 8 milijoni vojakov, ki so med letoma 1914 in 1918 služili v vojski narodnostno pestre avstro-ogrske, je bilo več kot 850 tisoč Poljakov. Številni med njimi so bili ob odprtju italijanskega bojišča vpoklicani z drugih front, zlasti z vzhodne in balkanske, in tako so se udeležili srditih bojev na Južnem Tirolskem, Koroškem, ob reki Soči in na Krasu. V 12 soških bitkah, ki so dodobra izčrpale vojskojoči se strani, je po nekaterih ocenah življenje izgubilo med 22 in 25 tisoč poljskih vojakov, kar predstavlja najmanj četrtino vseh padlih poljskih vojakov v Prvi svetovni vojni. Na predvečer 110. obletnice začetka bojev na soški fronti se ob gostovanju razstave Poljski vojaki na soški fronti 1915-1917 spominjamo tega težkega obdobja. K pozdravnemu nagovoru bom prijazno povabila magistra Janka Boštjančiča, direktorja Parka vojaške zgodovine. At the end of the 19th and at the beginning of the 20th century, the Kingdom of Italy was tied to the Central Powers. However, in the secret London Agreement, the countries of the Triple Entente offered it more territory in exchange for opening a new front. In May 1915, the Kingdom of Italy entered the First World War as part of the Allied powers, opening a new front in the heart of Europe, where the plains of the Po meet the peaks of the Alps along the Emerald Isonzo. The Austro-Hungarian Empire conscripted a number of soldiers to oppose the army of the Kingdom of Italy on the eastern part of the battle line, which ran along the western part of the Slovenian national territory. Among over 8 million Poles who served in the army of the ethnically diverse Austro-Hungarian Empire between 1914 and 1918, there were more than 850,000 Poles. Many of them were relocated here from other fronts, especially from the Eastern and the Balkan front, and had to face fierce battles in the South Tyrol, Carinthia, the Karst, and along the Isonzo River. In the 12 battles of Isonzo, which thoroughly exhausted the opposing sides, some estimates suggested from 22,000 to 25,000 Polish soldiers lost their lives, which represents at least a quarter of the total number of Polish soldiers who perished in the First World War. On the eve of the 110th anniversary of the opening of the Isonzo Front, we are hosting the guest exhibition Polish Soldiers on the Isonzo Front 1915-1917 to commemorate the memory of the difficult period. I would like to invite the director of the Park of Military History, Janko Boštjančič, to give the opening address.
Spoštovani gospod konzul, spoštovani gospod polkovnik, spoštovani gospod Przemysław Jaskółowski, avtor razstave, cenjeni obiskovalci, dragi prijatelji. V imenu Parka vojaške zgodovine vas lepo pozdravljam na tej slovesnosti ob odprtju razstave Poljski vojaki na soški fronti. On behalf of the Park of Military History, I would like to warmly welcome you to the opening ceremony of the exhibition Polish Soldiers on the Razstava front. Jutri bo minilo natanko 110 let, kar je z vojno napovedjo kraljevine Italije, habsburški monarhiji, prva svetovna vojna pljusknila tudi na slovensko ozemlje. Imena slovenskih vasi in trgov ob Soči in na Krasu so kmalu postala poznana širom cele monarhije. 100 tisoči vojakov, ki jih je armadno vodstvo premaknilo z drugih front in na novo mobiliziranih vojakov, je kmalu spoznalo te naše kraje od blizu. A v zavest so se vtisnili tudi vsem drugim, tem, ki so v njih brali v časopisih, še veliko bolj pa tistim, ki so njihova imena našli v pismih s fronte, ki so jim jih poslali njihovi najdražji. Kraji ob soški fronti so od tistih dni nekakšna skupna dediščina srednjeevropskih narodov, kraj spomina na skupno trpljenje, skupno hrepenenje. V teh naših krajih so se v tistih dneh bojevali tudi mnogi vojaki iz daljne Poljske. O njihovi usodi, njihovem junaštvu in trpljenju govori današnja razstava. Hvala njenemu avtorju, neutrudnemu raziskovalcu dediščine prve svetovne vojne, gospodu Przemysławu Jaskółowskemu, ki je s tem slovenski javnosti odstrl pomemben pogled na vojno dogajanje. Hvala tudi doktorju Marku Šepcu iz Muzeja novejše in sodobne zgodovine Slovenije, ki je bil nekakšen oficir za zvezo pri tem projektu in je ključno pripomogel k postavitvi te razstave. S to novo razstavo v Parku zaznamujemo pomembno obletnico naše nacionalne in tudi svetovne zgodovine. Območje soške fronte je sicer danes območje prijateljskih odnosov med Slovenijo in Italijo, kraj gospodarskega in kulturnega sodelovanja med državama in narodoma, pa tudi kraj spomina na dogajanje pred 110 leti. Pri tem pač ne gre pozabiti na vojake vseh narodov, ki so se borili v teh krajih in mogoče pri nas tudi končali svoje življenje. To je posebno v tem času, ko v Evropi spet divja vojna, naša sveta dolžnost. Kot muzejski delavci pač ne moremo storiti več kot to, da opozarjamo na vojno trpljenje, na strahote, ki jih vojna prinaša. Tomorrow we will mark exactly 110 years since the First World War splashed onto Slovenian territory, when the Kingdom of Italy declared war to the Habsburg monarchy. The names of Slovenian villages and towns along the Isonzo River and in the karst became widely known throughout the monarchy. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers who were moved from other fronts by the army leadership, as well as newly mobilized soldiers, soon got to know these places up close. This area was also imprinted in the collective consciousness, especially to those who read about them in the letters sent to them from the front by their loved ones. Ever since then, the places along this Isonzo River, Isonzo front, have been a kind of common heritage of the Central European nations, a place of remembrance, of common suffering and common longing. Many soldiers from distant Poland also fought in these places. The exhibition we are opening today is the expressions of their faith, their heroism, and their suffering. Thank you to the author of the exhibition, a tireless researcher of the heritage of the First World War, Mr. Przemysław Jaskółowski, who has thus given the Slovenian public an important insight. Thank you to Dr. Marko Šepec from the Museum of Contemporary History of Slovenia, who has been a kind of liaison officer and was instrumental in the whole process of setting up the exhibition in the park. This new exhibition marks an important anniversary in both national and world history. Today, the territory of the Isonzo front is an area of friendly relations between Slovenia and Italy, as well as a place of economic and cultural cooperation between both states and nations. However, this area is also a place of remembrance of what happened 110 years ago. We cannot forget the soldiers of all nations who fought along the Isonzo front and perhaps lost their lives here. This is our sacred duty, especially at now that war is raging in Europe once again. As museum workers, drawing attention to the suffering and horrors that war brings is the most we can do. Thank you. Hvala.
Nastanek razstave ne bi bil mogoč brez dragocene podpore Veleposlaništva Republike Poljske v Sloveniji, s katerim Park odlično sodeluje že več let. K mikrofonu vabim gospoda Šimona Bjalika, konzula Veleposlaništva Republike Poljske v Sloveniji. The creation of the exhibition would not be possible without the invaluable support of the Embassy of the Republic of Poland in Slovenia, with which the Park of Military History has been successfully cooperating for several years. I would like to invite Mr. Šimon Bjalik, Consul of the Embassy of the Republic of Poland in Slovenia, to take the floor.
Spoštovani gostje, u imenu Veleposlaništva Republike Poljske u Ljubljani vas lepo pozdravljam na odprtju razstave Poljaki na soškim fronti. Ta zgodba ni dobro znana na Polskem, ni u Sloveniji. Ko sem pred 3 leti prišel u Slovenijo delat na Veleposlaništvo, o tem temi nisem videl skoraj niči. Zdaj sem obiskal skoraj vse vojiška pokopališča, ker so pokopali polski vojaki. Nauczył sem se veliko i mislim, da sem postal dober poznalec tej zgodovine. Med prvo svetovno vojno ni bilo ne Polskie, ne Slovenije. Poljaki i Slovenci so želi u avstro-ogrski i skupaj se borili na tej fronti. Na soški fronti so Poljaki i Slovenci służyli u avstro-ogrskich wojski. Bojewali so se u gorach, u żelo težkich rozmerach, daleć od doma. Mnogo se tukaj umarli. Ta rozstava je zelo pomembna, ker govori o teh ľudziach, pokaže, da sta zgodovini Polske i Sloveniji povezani tudi u ciężkich czasach. Chwala Parku zgodovine, vojaške zgodovine, Narodnemu Muzeum Swobodne zgodovine i всем, ki so pomagali privati to razstavo. Hvala, ker sem danes tukaj. That was a hard part, now is this part. On behalf of Polish Embassy, I would like to warmly welcome to this great opening of this important for us Polish exhibition, Polish Soldiers on Socha is a front, so always it's a different pronunciation, but still here is a Socha front. This is a part of our shared history. It's not only our history, but this part of the Europe, I think. And it's not widely known, neither in Poland, neither in Slovenia. When I first came here as a consul, I myself have no idea about it. But over these 3 years, I visited nearly all cemeteries where the Polish soldiers were buried, and I can say that I've become some kind of expert of that. I would like to thank to all the partners who is responsible for this exhibition, of course, Polish author, of course, Janko Bośniacic, this beautiful museum, of course. Thank you very much, and I think that we will have some nice view of this exhibition. Thank you very much.
Danes je v naši sredi Przemysław Jaskółowski, eden od ustanoviteljev in predsednik tradicionalne enote artilerijskega polka C&K, trdnjave številka 2 barona Edvarda von Beckija, krakovska trdnjava. Gospod Jaskółowski je strasten ljubitelj vojaške zgodovine in avtor razstave, zato ga vabim, da z nami podeli nekaj misli. Today we are joined by Przemysław Jaskółowski, co-founder and president of the traditional unit of the C&K Fortress Artillery Regiment No. 2, Baron Edward von Becky, Fortress Krakow. Mr. Jaskółowski is a passionate enthusiast of military history and the author of the exhibition, so I would like to invite him to share some of his thoughts with us.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to be here. I prepared some speak, but I decided to leave it at home. The best words I can say came from inside. Many years ago, when we started our cooperation with Igor Šepec, searching the Slovenian soldiers on the Galician front, it was very hard to find them because the place wasn't marked. We couldn't even find some of them because it was impossible to go there because of the bushes and other difficulties we met on the roads. Now the places are very well to reach. Yes, it's really easy to reach the places. Thank you very much for this award. I'm thinking in two languages in the moment, so so it's good sometimes leave one word. The same situation was on the Italian front with the Polish soldiers. Until now, the knowledge about them is really pure. I heard the speech of the Mr. Consul. He said that he's an expert from the Polish soldiers. I think it's a little bit too much to say, because I'm sure that we couldn't show all cemeteries with all Polish soldiers on the Italian front, not only on the Socha, but also on the Italian side. There was a lot of them, and as I remember, we spoke last year, Mr. Consul said that it's about 15,000 Polish soldiers who died on the Italian front. It was much more. We are cooperating now with the Austrian Black Cross, and we know that the total sum of the Polish fallen soldiers was much more than we give. So to compare it to the Slovenians, I need to say the 25,000, it's the all Slovenians which was fighting during the First World War, for example. So it was really a great number of them. This exhibition show some part of the Polish stories from the Socha front. I think you will be enjoyed of this, because the stories you know from the grandfathers or other members of your families now will be closed. You will know that some of these people who they talked many years ago, they was Polish. Thank you very much.
Današnje dogajanje v parku je še posebej živahno, saj znotraj kompleksa poteka družinski dan 10. izvidniškega bataljona Slovenske vojske, čigar pripadniki so trenutno sredi intenzivnih priprav na sodelovanje v NATO-vi misiji v sklopu aktivnosti okrepljene pozornosti na Slovaškem. Danes v parku s ponosom predstavljajo svoje delovanje, opremo, poslanstvo ter vrednote. Zlasti slednje v mnogih pogledih spominjajo na tiste, kakršne so pred dobrim stoletjem izkazovali poljski vojaki v Visokogorju, ki se dviguje nad Smaragdno Sočo. Razstavo, ki orisuje pomembno poglavje skupne zgodovine poljskega in slovenskega naroda, bo uradno odprl namestnik poveljnika sil, polkovnik Igor Šepec. Today's events at the Park of Military History are particularly lively, as the family day of the 10th Reconnaissance Battalion of the Slovenian Armed Forces is taking place within the complex. The members of this unit are currently in the midst of intensive preparations for their participation in NATO's Enhanced Vigilance Activities mission in Slovakia. Today, they proudly present their work, equipment, and values at the park. These values, in many ways, echo those displayed over a century ago by Polish soldiers in the highlands rising above the Emerald in Sonza River. The exhibition, which outlines an important chapter in the shared history of the Polish and Slovenian nations, will be officially opened by Deputy Force Commander Colonel Igor Šepec.
Dobar dan. Dear Mr. Consul, dear author of the exhibition, distinguished veterans, representatives of cultural and other organizations from Poland and Slovenia, dear visitors. Remembrance is not merely a look backwards. It is also a reminder for the future. At a time when Europe is once again confronted by war, aggression, and a changed security situation, it is all the more important to be aware of the value of peace, cooperation between nations, and the responsibility that we all bear, including within the alliance to which we belong. We are gathered here today on the 110th anniversary of the beginning of the fighting of the Socha front, to pay tribute to those who gave their youth and their lives in this land, in the shadow of the mountains and of the banks of the Socha River. In this painful history, however, one can also discern common threads among the peoples, who clad in the uniforms of various empires suffered, fought, and died together, including the several thousand, we heard, more than 20,000 Polish soldiers conscripted into the Austrian-Hungary forces who fought on the mountain slopes of the Posoce area, in trenches under the mountain, or from Bonn along the Socha, on the Sabotin and of the valley below the mountain of Kern. The Socha front encompassed 12 offensives, which have left a permanent mark on towns such as Bovec, Kobarid, Tolmin, Lok pod Mangartom, as well as on numerous mountain passes such as those between Mrzli Vrh and Kern, between Golobar and Rombon. Numerous Polish soldiers fought on these battle lines as part of the Austrian-Hungary army, hailing mostly from Galicia, Krakow, Lvov, and other places in the monarchy. Many of them fell on Slovenian soil, without a grave, without a name. Yet, their memory lives on old military cemeteries, in the records kept by the locals, and in the hearts of the two nations, which today live in peace and friendship. Polish soldiers are part of our common European military and human history. Their presence is a lasting symbol of the link between the Slovenian and Polish peoples, a link which today is based on friendship, cooperation, and peace. Thank you for that. So, on this occasion, on behalf of the Slovenian Armed Forces and the Republic of Slovenia, I would like to express a deep gratitude and respect to all the fallen, the Poles, Slovenes, Hungarians, Czechs, Germans, Italians, and others. All those who died in the mountains, free of hearted, but trapped in a time without choice. It is our duty to preserve this memory as a path towards understanding, reconciliation, and a firm commitment never to repeat the horrors of war. Finally, I would like to thank the Park of Military History in Pivka and the National Museum of Contemporary History of Slovenia in Ljubljana for their efforts towards preserving memory, understanding history, and strengthening national awareness. They represent a bridge between the past, the present, and the future, enabling us to understand who we are and where we are going as a society, a nation, and as a country. Let the memories live on, and let the peace last. Thank you.
zaključkom slovesnosti bi se rada v imenu Parka vojaške zgodovine zahvalila vsem, ki so pripomogli k gostovanju razstave Poljski vojaki na soški fronti 1915-1917. V prvi vrsti je na mestu iskrena zahvala avtorju razstave in Veleposlaništvu Republike Poljske v Sloveniji za izkazano zaupanje. Najlepša hvala tudi Muzeju novejše in sodobne zgodovine Slovenije, posebej dr. Marku Šepcu, ki je dal pobudo za začasno umestitev razstave v prostore našega muzeja. Najlepša hvala tudi tehnični ekipi Parka, ki je poskrbela za postavitev razstave, in ne nazadnje gre iskrena hvala tudi triu flavtistk orkestra Slovenske vojske, katerih nastop je dodatno obogatil tale dogodek. Before closing the ceremony, on behalf of the Park of Military History, I would like to thank everyone who has contributed to the hosting of the exhibition Polish Soldiers on the Isonzo Front 1915-1917 at the Park. First and foremost, sincere thanks to the author of the exhibition and the Embassy of the Republic of Poland in Slovenia, who entrusted the exhibition to the park. I would also like to thank the Museum of Contemporary History of Slovenia, especially Dr. Marko Šepec, who initiated and organized for the Park of Military History to host this exhibition. Na samem koncu prireditve vas lepo vabim na ogled gostujoče razstave, katere je v zadnjem delu dvorane pridodana želani odprta razstava Naši strelci Poljske legije med prvo svetovno vojno 1914-1917. Temu bo sledila še manjša pogostitev, da nadzdravimo poljsko-slovenskemu prijateljstvu. At the very end, I would like to invite you to see the guest exhibition, which is further enhanced by an additional exhibition about Polish legions during the First World War, which had been opened last year. This will be followed by a small reception in celebration of the Polish-Slovenian friendship.